Climbing goat. Let's just lower this down a little bit. Mainly so I don't feel like I need to holler to be heard. It's sort of an instinctive thing. I'm not gonna say I like a little volume, but you know. Full screen, press to paint, size indicator. Sure. Don't expect a lot of settings. I sent you a picture of a cat. Oh, I should ask her something. Hey. Do. Okay, it's all good. Let's do the thing, shall we? Glad you're here. Okay, let's practice. Oh gosh. So this is a 2x1, easy enough. All right, this is gonna be 2x1. Basically the number tells you like what the area is. And so a 4 could be a 2x2 or a 4x1. Simple multiplication. So this is going to be a 2x2 very likely because you see there's no 4x1s possible. That's got to be like that. That's going to be like that. That'll clearly be like that. None. Nope, no L shapes. Uniform squares or rectangles only. So there's no, and one number cannot consume another number. So I can't do that because there's a 2 in it. Correct. All squares must be covered. Ooh. Spangly. All right, we're down to the meat of it now. 4, 3, 3. I kind of like the smooth jazz. I would get eventually tired of it. But for the time being, yeah. I feel like, oh my God. Bill Bailey is in the background. He's about to tell us about Dr. Key or something. This is where we get a little bit interesting. Well, it says 6, so it's got to be 2x3 or 6x1, right? Those are the only ways you can factor that. Clearly, it can't go like that because I've decided the 4 goes down there. So, yeah, you are correct. I mean, the trick for me here is I know that this corner, the only one that could possibly fill that corner in was going to be this 4, right? There's no way the 6 could get to it, so it had to be the 4 had to be like that. Just little processes of elimination. You know, same deal. I know that only the 6 is going to get to that corner. So it's got to be like that, which means it's 3x2. And then it's going to get a little trickier. Because there's a few ways this could be solved, but that corner can only be done. Words by there. All right. And then it all comes into place. Congratulations on your watch streak. Wow. Hey, you're my favorite fan, Ms. Darcy. However, can I thank you? I have a few ideas, but yeah, that's not where I was hoping to go more or less threatening, but if that's what we must do, threatening it will be. Or else. Here's where it got interesting. We got a 4 by, we got an 8, so there's a few, well, still only factors like a few different ways. So an answer. Oh, I already blew past it. So, yeah. So you can't. It was a. Yeah. All right. That's a problem here. Okay. Yeah. So rule number 1 is that it has to be like a rectangle of some sort. That rectangle's dimensions factor the 6. Like the number implies the area. Rule number 2 is that one area cannot overlap 2 numbers. Each area has 1 number. So, for instance, here's a 5. Now, I know that 5 is a 1 by 5 or a 5 by 1. This technically is correct, except it consumes 2 of these other numbers, so that's wrong. And the 5 has to be in this 1 by 5. Now, there's 2 possibilities. It could be this one, or it could be this one. I don't know enough yet to be sure. It gets more interesting when you start getting into more complicated numbers. Now, here's a 6. The 6 could be 1 by 6, or 2 by 3, 3 by 2, 1 by 6. Most of them we can rule out. The only one that's going to fit is this one. So sometimes the puzzles will start by, can you find a factor that, can you find the factor and a place for it to fit? Secondarily, or optionally, which helps eliminate, is there only one number that can cover a square? Because all squares must be covered. So I know that this 2 is the only way to cover that corner. So it must go like that, right? So, I mean, this is technically valid, but this square doesn't get covered, so it has to go like that. This one's a bit more confusing because this 3 could cover that, or this 3 could cover that. So I don't know which one yet. But I do know this can only be covered by that 4. Perforce it must go like that. This 5. This 3 only has one way it fits. Like so. Exactly so. Yeah, you nailed it. Right? So it's just a process of finding which ones work. It's sort of like you eliminate the ones you can, do the ones you can, and then more of them will be, as you start taking away options, you start to get better ideas. Like this 3 obviously can't go like this anymore, so it must go like that. Which means only this 5 can fill in that square, so it must be like that. Exactly. Yeah. It's not a hard, once you work out the algorithm to solve these, they're initially not hard. They get harder because we're going to get bigger, more complicated numbers with more factors, but the process always remains the same. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen like 25, 24, 27 maybe. We start, in time, it will become more complicated. So this has to go like that. Therefore, it goes like that. Like that. And 25 is not so bad. But, yeah. But, on the other hand, imagine a big wide open space. There are 25 possible places for your 5 by 5 square to go. So, the square itself is predictable, but there's a lot of places it could fit. And that becomes zesty. Yeah, yeah, right. Obviously, you nailed it. You sort of work out where things ought to go. Reduce possibilities. Things will come together in time. Yeah, but, you know, by saying it, you demonstrate that you understand. So this was a little bit tricky because we could do that, which on the surface of it looks valid. Or this. Or that. So I don't know where it goes yet. Please tell me about factors. Also, the thing is that helpfully tells you how big the square is. So there's no guesswork. So you can just sort of measure. It's like, well, the 7 looks like it might have fit, but it doesn't. But it does fit this way. Yeah, it's just some gentle QOL here. Uh-oh. Okay. There we go. Oh, yeah, that would be... Wow. You can always see Picross just goes exponentially complicated. But, like, it's kind of like an n-cubed relationship, I think. Number of squares versus time spent to solve. I'm spitballing, but... It's like 25 by 25 seems like it would take a really, really long time. Yeah, nothing else is going to cover that square. So there we go. Oh my gosh. That is diabolical. I mean, yeah, with 40 by 40, you can get a nice looking puzzle. But I felt like, yeah, I mean, some people take it seriously. I remember reading up on somebody making, like, just so utterly infatuated with Minecraft that he was just making astronomically big Minecraft puzzles with all kinds of extra complexities. He wrote all these rules and theories and things on how you could solve Minecraft. And it's like, not Minecraft. Minesweeper. And it was kind of interesting, but, you know, it was a bit much. A bit much for the likes of me, anyway. Yeah, that was always a failing, I thought, with the game, is that you have to take one random shot. And there's a small but real chance that you get pranged. Getting pranged is different from pranging, by the way, just so we know. Gosh, I'm in the longest elevator ride here. It's awfully smooth. How are we doing? All right, so we're 10.4% to solve the puzzle. So, like, I feel like they've done a little bit to speed the game up. But it still feels like it's going to take a good long time before we solve a puzzle. Like, before we totally solve one. And there's a lot. Well, no, well, I'll show you when it appears. Basically, if I solve enough of these things, it will fill in a little bit more of the painting. Or the poster, in this case. So we'll get there, and we'll see what it's like. Okay, this one's tricky, so it could go like that. Or something like that. So I don't know where this goes yet. Well, alright, this one's obvious. Only this 6 can do that corner, so... I can't go like that, so it must be there. And the 5 can only go a few ways. It could be that. It's Sunday after all. Porn o'clock in the apartment building. Alright, this 2 can look like that. Yeah, I was kind of hoping it would, you know, I might have timed it well and caught some eyeballs. I flogged this on Steam and on Bisky at the same time. So, you know, I was hoping for some positive results. Hope beats eternal. Gosh, this one's a bit of a stumper. At some point I might flail and start guessing, but... Alright, if I do that... We have to come back to this one, but we're gonna try our best. Oh. Nope. There. One of the bugs in an earlier version of the game was, there was only one true solution, and then he realized if you can solve it, you have solved it. You know, why drag it out? Well, actually, it would be... In terms of code, checking to see whether it's valid or not. I mean, because you can check whether each block is valid as you put it down, and you don't allow them to put an invalid block down. If every square is covered, and every number is selected, you have won. Look, as long as you don't let the user do an illegal move, you just have to check to see when they're all done. So validating would be really easy. I think the algorithm, you know, done cleverly, it's actually an easier thing. Because, like, as a player does a move, and remembering that you only let them do valid moves, after they've done a move, every square is covered, they've solved it. Done. Easy peasy. Oh, let's rethink that one. Other ways this could go. If I do that. Alright, if I do, hang on, if I do this. Yeah, nothing's getting there. Oh, hang on. Nope. I'm sorry, you were saying something about the 6, but I couldn't read it properly. But it falls down here. Oh. I'm being a smartass. No two ways about it. I am most assuredly smarting my ass. You know me. You know where I live. There you go. See, so filled in a little bit more. And we're sort of moving on to a different random section of the paint. It used to also just do these chunks, like it would do them in like in chunks of 10 puzzles at a time, and then kind of show you some progress, but it did it very systematically. So now I get a 10. How fast did I use that? So here's a fascinating one. We got it done. And obviously there's only 2 ways it could go, but there's a lot of different... Well, actually in this case, it only fits 1 way. But I sort of think I was talking about the 25, right? There theoretically would have been many places to accommodate it. Whoops-a-doodle. Let's rethink that a second. Yeah. They get harder over time, but even still I saw like here's a, you know, I started off with a mistake. Still, the fork can only go 1 way. What if we do that instead? There we go. They're starting to get teasy with their 9s here. Yeah. It's like, oh, it's coming. It's coming. You know it's coming. Well, 16%. I'm gonna have to speed this up if I want to finish this puzzle during our session today. Well, I'm not going to really try to break myself doing it. You know. Enjoy the process. I will want to see how many puzzles there are to get through, though. Oh. There we go. So here we got a couple different placements. It could go like that, or like that. Getting spicier. Yeah, right. Well, I mean, in theory it could go like this, but then it would totally break the 9. So, yeah. As I was playing... Well, yes and no, because it could go... It can only go one way because of... Right. It's not... How about this? That's not how I would think of it. Although we arrive at the same conclusion. Oh. Starting to make me wonder if I'm not Eliza's husband somewhat. Ugh, what a terrible thought to have. I'll know for sure when I see you reaching for forks. But by then it might be too late. Oh, we got a 12. Now we got some factors. She's had to put up with a lot. Though, you know? Yeah, I'd been eyeballing it a little bit, though. I was giving it the old stink eye, because, you know, maybe it could go somewhere else. I don't know yet. Oh, we're now getting some interesting shippage. Yeah. One hopes. I still keep thinking about, like, also how, like, the horse incident from today's reading. I am concerned about trying to do, you know, trying to improve my standing, but only in the context of making sure we have adequate wealth that we can live comfortably. A little more than that. I am the opposite of vain. I might be the one making those calico cat jokes. But then only to piss off Eliza's husband. Which I gotta think was the point of it. Hi, Montreth. I know, believe me when I say I know that feeling implicitly. It's a very simple puzzle game. The idea is that you have to make rectangles that accommodate a number and only contain one number. So 4 could be 1 by 4, 4 by 1, or 2 by 2. Can't be a 2 by 2 because it has 2 4s in it. So it must be a 4 by 1. And then these are all going to form, and we're sort of painting, if you will. And it plays smooth jazz, because who doesn't like smooth jazz? I don't know. And the original one was all about making art. These are going to be movie posters by the looks of it. I have no idea what the poster's even going to be, but we'll get there in the fullness of time. I completed the 9 Lives Archer region. Let's take a look at this thing. So that's what we've done so far. And there's 6 of them by the looks of it. But even still, in the span of half an hour, I've done 23% of one of them. So if I did a steady rate, 12 hours, like 2 hours a poster. But if it's at all like the original, they get harder too. It wasn't very punsy. I think it was Kitty with the pearl earring. I don't remember they had also the Scream. But I think they just called it the Scream again. I don't rightfully recall. Yeah, okay. Vermew, of course. I don't know, Vermeer, Vermew, Vermeow. I mean, I didn't expect to have a talent of doing kitty snore, but you know. Yeah, there's no other way this goes. But it was delightful, though, wasn't it? I mean, the kitty's snoring, not my thing. My thing's fine, don't get me wrong. Hmm. Oh no. But I would wager. I'm not a gambling man, you know this. But I will bet you that she'd be thrilled regardless. That she'd be like, she would be tickled that you made her socks. She'd be like, these are the best things ever. Mewveer isn't bad. Maybe. So it's gotta be at least like that. There was a way you could mark things. Oh, there we go. So you can actually just put a marker down if you suspect something. I know, like, the 5 is the only thing that's going to get that square. But I'm not sure about the rest of it yet. But that's definitely going to be like that. Actually, if it's gonna be like that, so it only fits like that. So that was easy enough. Premiere? Yeah. Alright, I think we got something. I think we've workshopped this into a good state. Oh. Yeah. I have to admit, though, as I played the previous version of this game, and again on this one, I keep thinking about how I would write computer code to solve these puzzles. More for the challenge of writing the computer code that can solve the puzzles rather than, you know, depriving myself of the pleasure of doing it myself. I'm wired a little different. But the process of thinking about how you'd write computer code to solve the puzzles means you come up with a process by which you can solve them yourself. So, you know. Excuse me. Yeah, my first process is, can I find a square that only one thing can fill in? Like this corner here. The only way I could possibly fill it in is with a 6. Now, secondarily, are there numbers that can only be fit one way? In fact, I might even start with that, because that will just reduce the computational load. You know, like right now there's only one way this 3 can fit. It's obviously got to be like that. So you do a pass of one and do a pass of to other. Yeah. Knock off, yeah, anything you can do to reduce the amount of work you've got to do is your best bet to make an efficient algorithm. Eventually you get to, you know, obviously the computer can crack that nut a lot faster than we can. So certain things, like finding the one square that could accommodate each number is a bit tedious for us, but the computers go, boop, done. And once you've done as many of those, you know, yeah. And then things start to come into place. You just also have to find a solution where maybe you've painted yourself in a corner and you have an unsolvable puzzle. Then you've got to back up and redo things. Yeah, exactly. You want to avoid backtracking if you at all can. So every safe bet you can do reduces your complexity, or makes it quicker to get to a fail state, which is as desirable, I suppose. See, the only thing that's yeah. So between those two rules, I reckon you can get a lot of the puzzle, you know, much of the heavy lifting can be done. Yeah. It happens. It happens. I have done the original somewhat too, so ta-da! I have no idea what this poster is even going to be. I mean, I'm laughing with you. You understand. I know the feel though. Bugger. This has to go like that. It's the only way it goes. There, okay. Yeah. Oh, I mean, we're not people deeply tied to our egos. So, you know. Okay, this is getting a bit eye strainy. It's a bit dark. Be right back. Give me 30 seconds. All right, back. Well, perhaps, but I'm going to solve it my way, and we will get there in the fullness of time. No, yeah. This has to go like that. That goes like that. For your fans, we're just going to have to wait. But see now. Hey, have yourself a good night. Hopefully, the sleeps come to you nice and good. Uh-oh. There we go. Leave the channel on and just get like smooth jazz and Canadian voices to Lolio. No, I could not. It would totally not fit because it's just, you know, it's a really shouty, energetic form of music, and this requires calm contemplativeness. Hardcore punk has not given over to calm contemplation. The time for calm contemplation has passed. Now it is time we mosh. Also, and smash the system. But moshing. It would be really unpleasant, I think. Much as I like some good, energetic, you know, music, and I'm all for smashing systems, you know, as an intellectual exercise, let us say. Yeah, but, you know, what you've done, though, is you've gone from hardcore punk to nu metal. Unless Picross were a euphemism for the government or some other corporate institution, in which case we're back on board again. It's not punk without the politics. And to which you'll probably say, your face is not punk without the politics. So I suppose you're right. Oh god, the gamers themselves would sort that out for you in record time. Microtransaction Picross. I mean, wow. The crassness of it. Wow, that's the third one today. You know, I would imagine that Twitch would like to solve that problem at some point. Video game hardcore punk. Contemplating. Bug. Oh. There we go. Okay, I wanged this. If I do like that though, that won't fit. So it has to go like that. This has to go like that. But then this is completely boned. No, it's not. This goes like that. That goes like that. There, 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 there. Okay, we got it. Yeah, I mean, it's awfully cynical, but you are right. I always felt like, say, in APB, they didn't want to ban the overt cheaters too hard because some of them were literally spending money on, because it was a, you know, microtransaction game. So their account would get banned, and then of course they'd come back and rebuy everything and come back again. The whale of the whales. Yeah. I mean, we have a system for it, so nobody else sees it. They're just firing shots in the wind. I feel that as well. FPSs claim that's what they're doing, but in practice may not be. They can only react so quickly, and they're always on the back foot. It had 2 spots it could go. No it didn't. Never mind. I was getting there. Yeah, exactly. The thing is like... Uh-oh. I wanged it. We'll start with that. Could be that way, it could be that way, I don't know which. Yeah, the problem though is like, it sort of puts me in a strange spot. I'm not the greatest fan of the music, and considering there's like 12 hours of this, you're going to hear the same tunes a number of times. And if the tunes don't really do it for you, they do start to outlast their welcome. But this game is really thin if you turn the music off. If you put your own music in, it doesn't fit. Or at least my collection doesn't fit. It gets real exciting then. Whew. I'd go one of 2 ways, like that. This cannot... Oh, it could. However, it can only go there. That's the only one that covers that square. Or square. Take away. Alright. This has to go like that. That's the only one that can do that. We could here, or all the way down there, and then I don't know. I mean, that fits, so the other way fits too. Arg! I haven't found anything I could really isolate on this one. So this one's starting to get zesty. At some point, I will just guess and then see if it comes together or not. Yeah, I mean, the 4 could go like any of these. Mind you, if it does that, the 3 becomes intractable. So it can't. So it's got to be that. Which means this has to be that. This has to be that at least. Because I'm still not sure about this 4 yet. It could be that square, it might not be. But I kind of wish you could just do a whole dubious thing. Dubious. Anyway, enough. We're just gonna do it. Because I could be faffing around with this all day and just... At some point, you just gotta go, that's it, I'm just gonna do it. And then see what happens. Well, alright. Wind it. So, I mean, I know the 7 fits. And I'm just gonna... Nope. And that comes crashing to a halt too. No. It's not often we get a stumper, but it does happen. Alright, so the 7 only fits one way. 4 could go that way or that way, so that's not good. That could be either of those. That's okay. That's the only way to cover that block. So the 7 has to be horizontal. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But this could also go like... This can't go like that, because that... Actually, it could. So I could go either of those. I'm gonna work you like a Picross. I don't know how that would work, truth be told. But we'll sort it out. There's a whole lot of cascading, if this, then that. But I've got a lot of things that have not been decided yet. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I know it's got to be that. There's only two ways this is going to go. I just don't like leaving all these reds around. This is like more red-ish than I've usually done. I suppose. Alright. We'll try that. I don't feel that it makes a lot of difference, but alright. Very well. You'll not find me arguing over much. This is a stomper. It's kind of amazing. Smooth Lovain. Love. Are you ready for some smooth Love? The four zone over the... I just... Thank you. I find it more challenging to receive a lot of external assistance at solitaire games than you do. But, you know. I'm looking for one obvious piece that would just all, you know, one obvious move that would come together, and these red things are just jarring to me. I don't want to like them. They keep calling my attention. So I really don't want to do those if I can help it. But fine. No, it's... Normally everything just comes together, so the fact that it's not is really... All I'm just saying, G, It's difficult for me. It's giving me the swirl. It's giving me the brain swirlies. I don't want to look at it anymore. I tried that, so we're gonna do that. And if that doesn't work, move the 7 over, try again. I felt that sometimes just sort of brashly going forward winds up giving better results than trying to over-intellectualize it. Just brash. There we go. Yes, actually, you can be snarky if you want, but I stampeded it. I got it. We will disagree. We'll have to agree to disagree on this, I think. That said, I would be fascinated to see you tackling this problem somewhat more methodically. Oh, I do what I like. There is a time and a place in the case of a game where maybe just trying a solution out will get you results faster than trying to puzzle it out. Like, it's sort of the paradox of computer programming. A person could spend a week writing code that would save them 1 hour in the future development time, when it might be more economical to spend 1 hour instead of 1 week writing a brute force algorithm and 3 days letting it run. Of course, you can't know the results until you can't know until you've finished which solution was better. It's sort of the paradox of the whole situation. But that said, I've played this game, the previous one a few times, and sometimes it's just stampeded, as you would say. Just stampede it. I still don't know what this is. Wow. Any clues what this poster might be? Alright, well, let's just take a look. Here's what we have so far. Based on my original calculations, I should have been at 50% at this point. This may take a while. That's kind of my thought, but I only saw like the 3 kittens, so I thought maybe... Yeah. We shall see, yeah, certainly. We got a 14. Ooh la la. Just that amuses me to no end. I was threatening to write the review on a live stream. Just bring up Notepad, share my desktop, and get to writing. If we had good enough numbers. But, oh well. I can't imagine. I mean, I stroke my own ego to think that people would want to see this. No, hang on. I mean, there's occasional people who are like, hey, I like the way you just write all this stuff clearly off the cuff or whatever. And I'm like, oh, cool. I might just anyway. I might also go this way and also satisfy that need. Dang nabbit. No. That might have also worked. It happens, G. Don't sweat it. You get used to those intrusive puzzle thoughts, and you're like, oh, no, wait. I do that. There's only, yeah. Now things are starting to come together a little bit. Please don't fall on sword. I just have more puzzle solving mana than you do in this specific game. In much the same way that I would defer to you on matters Picross. So get off that sword. Podcast jazz background. Well, we could make a completely colored Picross game. That would be a niche that other people haven't filled, I think. And I do say we. I mean, somebody's got to build the puzzles. I could computer generate them, but they wouldn't look anywhere near as good. I may have to end up stampeding this one. Well, alright. I could make software to generate full-colored Picross. And also, without telling anybody, I could make a UI that's very inspired by Jupyter. But the problem is that the images are likely to be, computer generated. So it'll be like, oh, look, pixel noise. Hooray. Whereas, I suppose I can also just find images, shrink them down to like n color space. I don't know, let's say 6 or 4. You tell me. Shrink them down to that number of pixels in the right software to count the pixels and then turn them into a Picross puzzle. So it's all eminently a solvable problem. But there has been some vying of my... Okay, it's gotta go like that. Some vying of my attention for writing code. Yeah, that's part of it. You want the Picross... So as I understand it, the Picross has to look like something. It can't just be noise, right? So the step one of the process is gather images. GIF tends to contain a bunch of that. I believe GIF as a protocol already has color space mapped out. I don't rightfully recall. It's been a while since I looked at it. But suppose that GIF does have that color. Yeah, so GIF has a color space mapped out. So you give it a, say, 20, and on top of that has a space mapped out. So you give it a sufficiently small GIF. The software can read that, pull it out, and it's trivial to generate the Picross hints from that. Even color Picross hints from that. And then it's really just an issue of finding the appropriate GIFs to generate the puzzles from. So, I submit that for your contemplation. And then, yeah, you find yourself whatever pictures you like the looks of, shrink them down, reduce the color space. Give me a couple afternoons and some pints. I'll work out the algorithm to read a GIF, work out its color space, pick out its pixels, generate the Picross hints. Bob's your uncle. I have half of a Picross engine already written because of my course. Voila. Uh-oh. Right, this we decided that doesn't work already. Maybe it goes like that. Alright. Let's faff around. Let's start over again. That 3 is definite. That 2 is definite. That's go like that. That has to go like that. This has to go like that. Alright. So far, so good. There's no way but this. There's nothing else that can reach there. There we go. Hooray. Gosh. Gosh almighty. Oh. Well, that's not gonna go like that. So I'm going to solve that one. That might go like that. But, yes, this has to go like that. Okay. That's definitely there. It's the only one that can solve that. Okay. That's the only square that can do that. So anyway, to cover that square. No. Impossible. That one could do that. Okay. Could be, well, so this one cannot go there. So it must be this. Has to be like that. There's no two ways about it. Alright, there we go. There we go. I'm totally going to write about stampeding in my review here. That's a good word for it. No. Absolutely not that. Oh, hang on. No, it's still fine. I feel like one or two more puzzles and we'll get an enhanced picture. We could see what's what. There we go. I don't know if that was helpful to you. Well, we solved another chunk. Here's the chunk. Now we got some black things in the middle. I don't know what's up with the black things. Yeah, I would have thought there was like 4 kittens instead of 3 or something, but you know. Maybe by just mixing up the numbers, they're feeling safe. Hmm. Oh. Oh. Starty over. So anyway, to fill that corner. There we go. There we go. Carry on. Wow. Or like that. But if I do that, then nothing will fit there. Oops. Hey, 50% mark. Ta-da! Oh. That's definitely an archer cat. That's cat's ready to do some harching. Oh, a night in Venice. Ta-da! Alright, we'll close it in. No, that could have gone that way too. Okay. There we go. You know, let's try that again. Excuse me. Okay, there's only one way to solve that one. Good. And conversely, that. It has to be like that. I could go like that. Oh no, I can't. So this has to be this one. Alright. Starting to have difficulty quickly counting squares here. I think there's a way to go dark mode. Let's give this a try. Dark mode. That's a little better. I'm starting to get a little eye strain. Well, that's the only way to get that square. And that's a fact. There we go. Hey, we're back to smooth Louvain. Somehow I don't feel like organs. Okay, I shouldn't make fun of the music, but I was really making fun of the title of the music, to be very precise. This doesn't feel like the sort of thing I would do a lot of Louvain to, is all. Smooth or otherwise. Louvain. Well, hopefully you are at least as amused as I am, because I don't know. That'll go up to there. Lordy. We're getting there. Hey, well, another one. Distasteful personas. Wow, they're really stepping up their campaign. Thank you. Yeah, or they're getting really desperate that they're just flooding the end zone. I don't know. Bit of column A, bit of column B. I mean... Or, you know, I've been at this for a long time and I still don't really bring in the crowd. So, you know. There's a lot of possible interpretations we can derive from this. Some of them are more self-congratulatory than others. I think this will be the last one in this chunk. Then we get a look at it and I get to stop at that point, because even with dark mode, I kicked on dark mode too late and I'm a bit ice strainy. Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Oh boy. Oh, okay. Maybe there's a few more. I'm hoping to get the region done, so we can admire it and take a guess. Yeah, that's not the way it fits. Excuse me. Do. Yeah, there's only one way this fits. Yeah. There we go. It was called the Grey Wizard, the little Chivo I got. So let's take a look at the Chivos, which may totally... The Grey Wizard, the Axe Fighter, the Shadow Riders, the Elf Cat, the Wandering Guardian, the 9 Lives Archer, the Little Travelers. Yeah. Well, good job on us. We sorted it out. Hurrah! Alright. I need to take a break. And then I have some words I need to write. And, as you would say, good night, world.